When Penny first arrived in California, fresh off the road from a farm town in Nebraska, she had a plan, and she said it out loud with a completely straight face because she truly believed it. She was going to waitress for 6 months, and then she was going to be a movie star. That was the whole plan. Months. 12 years later, Penny is a pharmaceutical sales representative. She spends her days memorizing the side effects of antidepressants and flirting with doctors she does not actually like so that they will prescribe more of them. And she has admitted right out loud on camera that she hates it. Welcome back to 4A. Get settled in, because today we are going to talk about the only real dreamer this show ever had, and the tragic truth about what 12 years in this building quietly did to her. Because this is the story of how a sitcom took the one person in its cast who wanted to become something and slowly, gently, with a laugh track playing the entire time, talked her out of it. And then told you it was a happy ending. Now let me say the obvious things first so we can get past them. This is not about the wine jokes. It is not the freeloading, not the dumb blonde bit, not the long parade of ex-boyfriends the show liked to smirk about. That is all surface. That is the stuff served to you for laughs. The dark truth, the tragic truth, runs underneath all of it. Because Penny is the only character in this entire series who came here wanting to become something specific, something hers. And she is the only one the show flatly refused to let become it. And then it dressed the failure up in a wedding gown and called it growing up. Let me tell you where I am coming from. I have watched this series start to finish more times than I would admit at a dinner party. And for years, Penny was just the fun one to me, the pretty neighbor, the comic foil to the nerds. And then I started watching her dream instead of watching her jokes. I started tracking what she actually wanted, season by season, and what the show did with it. And I promise you, once you see the shape of it, you cannot unsee it. So here is the lens. Here is the one idea I need you to hold for the next 15 minutes. Look at everyone else in this group. They are all scientists. Every single one of them is chasing a credential, a position, a prize, the thing they spent years training for. And the show lets them have it. Sheldon wins the Nobel. Howard goes to space. Bernadette gets the doctorate and the big career. Even Raj keeps his post at Caltech. They all succeed at the exact thing they came to do. And then there is Penny. Penny is the only one who came not for a degree, but for a dream. She wanted to be an actress. She wanted to be seen. And she is the one, the only one, whose ambition the show slowly puts to sleep, one small surrender at a time, reframing each little death as maturity, as wisdom, as her finally getting realistic. And the whole way down, there is a glass of wine in her hand. Hold the dream and hold the wine, and let me walk you through it. Let me start with who she actually was when she got here, because the optimism is the part that breaks your heart later. Penny grew up on a farm in Nebraska. She rebuilt a tractor engine when she was 12 years old. She competed in junior rodeo. And then she got off the bus in Los Angeles carrying one enormous, shining, naive belief that she was going to make it. Her literal stated plan, in the early seasons, is that she will wait tables for 6 months just to get on her feet, and then she will be a movie star, and if that does not work, her backup plan is to be a television star. That is the level of certainty she arrived with. The world had not told her no yet, and watching that confidence, knowing where the story is going, is like watching someone wave goodbye from the deck of a ship you already know is going to sink. And it matters where that bus came from, because Penny was not only chasing a dream, she was also running from something and carrying a weight the whole way. Back on that farm in Nebraska, her father wanted a son so badly that he raised Penny half like one, calling her Slugger. Until somewhere along the way, she learned that her looks were the currency that actually got her noticed. Her family was the kind of family this show treats as a punchline, a father who drank, a mother quietly ashamed of all of it, a brother who would eventually end up in prison for cooking drugs. And Penny carried the thing that so many kids from a hard home carry west with them, the desperate aching need to come back someday as living proof that she made it, that she got out, that she became somebody. So when the dream started to die, it was never just a career disappointment. It was the slow collapse of the entire story she had told herself about escaping. She could not go home a movie star. And some part of her could not quite bear to go home at all. Then come the auditions. And the show is almost cruel in how it lays out her actual acting resume, because every single credit is one more step away from the dream instead of toward it. There is the low-budget horror movie called Serial Apist, which required her to do a nude scene, her big screen debut, taking her clothes off in a monkey movie. There is the sequel, Serial Apist 2, which she at first turns down because she knows it is beneath her, and then takes anyway because she needs the money and is promptly fired from. There is a hemorrhoid cream commercial. There is a production of The Diary of Anne Frank staged in the basement of a bowling alley. Read that list back. This is what a dream looks like while it is dying. Not one dramatic collapse, but a long, grinding series of smaller and smaller humiliations, each one chipping elite. That'll more off the thing she came here to be. And then comes the moment that should have been the turning point, the one the show plays for a quick laugh and then moves right past. Penny finally lands a real role. A guest spot on NCIS, an actual network television show, watched by millions, exactly the kind of break she crossed the country for. She is over the moon. She tells everyone. She is finally going to be on television. And then they cut her scene. The single biggest moment of her entire acting career is deleted before it ever airs. The one time the door cracked open, it slammed shut before a single person saw her walk through it. For most people, that is a gut punch worth an entire dramatic episode. Here, it is a setup for jokes, and the story rolls on because nobody in that world, and apparently nobody writing it, treated Penny's dream as something that genuinely mattered. Now look at where she actually lived all those years, financially. The Cheesecake Factory, a job that was supposed to last 6 months and ate 7 years of her life. And the show's running commentary on her in that whole period is not sympathy, it is mockery. Sheldon literally renames the apartment Wi-Fi network to call her a freeloader because she lives off the guys, eats their food, mooches their internet, can barely make rent. She is broke, season after season, in a way the show treats as a character flaw rather than a consequence. And underneath that, there is the wound she never talks about. Penny has no college degree. She is surrounded every single day by people with multiple doctorates who casually test her intelligence like she is one of the lab monkeys. And it gets to her so deeply that at one point, she secretly enrolls in community college classes and hides it from Leonard because she is ashamed, because she's afraid he will make a big deal of it. Think about that. She was so beaten down about her own mind that she had to sneak off to better herself in secret. And here is the part that genuinely makes me angry on a rewatch, because the show keeps selling you Penny as the dumb pretty one, the airhead, the body in the room, but watch what it actually shows you, almost by accident. This is a woman who rebuilt a tractor engine as a child, who has more real-world competence and social intelligence than the 4 geniuses combined, who, when she finally gets a real job, becomes one of the top salespeople at her entire company. The intelligence was always right there. The show just never once valued it. It valued her face. It valued her as Leonard's prize and the guy's fantasy, and it spent 12 years making her the punchline of jokes about being stupid, while quietly showing you a capable, clever woman it could not be bothered to take seriously. And it goes deeper than just calling her stupid, because the show also taught Penny, relentlessly, that her body was the only thing she had to offer. From the very first episode, the camera treats her as the object the nerds drool over. Her early storylines lean hard on a long list of ex-boyfriends, framed with a wink and a smirk that has aged badly. And the lesson lands on her exactly the way you would expect it to. When the acting does not work, when her own mind is mocked daily, the one reliable source of worth she has left is being wanted. So she leans on it. That is not vanity. That is a woman who was shown over and over again that her face would open doors her talent and her intelligence never could, and who adjusted accordingly, because what else was she supposed to do? The real cruelty is that the show did this to her, and then occasionally had the nerve to judge her for it. And here is the bitterest irony of how this group treated her, because Penny was the emotional center of all their lives. She is the one who takes care of Sheldon when he is sick, who sings to him, who lets him into her home when he is scared, or locked out, or quietly falling apart. She and Amy are the only 2 people who ever openly show that difficult man any warmth at all, and Penny does it first. She is the one the others bring their feelings to, the warm, grounded, emotionally fluent heart that a room full of brilliant, broken people desperately needed. She is the one who pulled the women into the group and stitched the friendships together. She poured all of that into these people for 12 years. And in return, they called her dumb. The single most emotionally intelligent person in the entire friend group spent over a decade being treated as the least intelligent one in it, because the only kind of smart that counted in that world was the kind that came with a diploma on the wall. Now, I owe you the counter-argument because it is the show's own argument, and a lot of people believe it. You are going to say, but Penny got the happiest, most stable ending of anyone. She quit chasing a silly fantasy, got a real career, started out earning Leonard, got married, and has a baby on the way. She grew up. The acting dream was childish, and what she found instead was real, adult happiness. And I understand why that reading feels good. There is truth in it. But I need you to notice whose definition of growth that is, because the whole tragedy is hiding inside that one word. Look at what growing up actually meant for Penny, concretely. It meant quitting the Cheesecake Factory to go all in on acting, the bravest, most all-or-nothing thing she ever did, and then failing. And then taking a job as a pharmaceutical sales rep at Bernadette's company, not because she dreamed of it, but because it was there. And she is good at it, genuinely good. She climbs, she makes real money, but she also says it, plainly, in a later season. She hates it. She hates having to flirt with doctors to move product. She memorizes lists of drugs the way she used to memorize scripts, except now there is no part of her in any of it. And right around then, the show gives you the visual. She cuts off all her hair, the long blonde the camera had fetishized for years, into a sensible little crop. And whatever you think of the haircut, inside the story it functions as one thing. It is the funeral of Penny the actress. The dreamer is being quietly buried, and the show frames the burial as her finally becoming sensible. And there is a bitter symmetry in what she turned out to be good at. Penny's one undeniable professional success is sales. She discovered she was brilliant at convincing other people to buy a thing she did not personally believe in. Sit with that, because it is the entire back half of her life in miniature. She spent her days persuading doctors to want a product she felt nothing for, and she spent her evenings being persuaded by everyone around her to want a life she had not actually chosen. The dreamer became a saleswoman, and the biggest sale of the whole series was the one made to her, the one where she was gradually talked into calling all of this a happy ending. And the same quiet settling that happened to her career happened, just as quietly, to her heart. Look at the love story the show actually tells. Penny is forever the one who is loved more that, and she loves back. Leonard adores her from the very first second, and she takes years to catch up, rejects his first proposal, holds him at arm's length. And in between, there is the other marriage almost nobody talks about. Drunk, in Las Vegas, Penny married Zach, a sweet, dim man who delivered menus in a wedding she genuinely believed was fake, until she discovered it was real and had to have it annulled. A blackout wedding to a man she did not love, laughed off as a wacky little subplot. And in the end, she settles down with Leonard, the safe and steady one. And maybe that is love, and maybe it is just the dreamer slowly learning to want less. The show never quite tells you which, and that uncertainty hangs over her entire happy ending like a small gray cloud that never moves. And then, there is the wine. I want to handle this carefully because the show never does. For 12 years, one of the steadiest running gags about Penny is that there is almost always a glass of wine in her hand. Fans have joked for years about how a broke waitress can afford to drink that much. And the show plays it light, a quirk a bit, the fun party girl with her cheap Chardonnay. But step back from the laugh track and look at the actual portrait. A woman whose dream is dying by inches, who feels stupid among her friends, who is broke and stuck and watching every door close, and who very reliably has a drink in her hand to get through it. The show never once treats that as anything but funny, and it is worth remembering where she comes from. A farm in Nebraska, a father who drank, a family she was desperate to prove herself to and just as desperate to escape, a brother who ended up in prison. She came west carrying a dream in one hand and a need to outrun all of that in the other. And when the dream slipped away, the coping stayed right where it was. So let me bring it home to the ending toe. He show wants you to read as a triumph. In the series finale, Penny is pregnant. And here is the quiet, brutal detail that almost everyone glides right past. Penny had said, clearly, more than once, that she did not want children. Leonard was the one who wanted them. And then it simply happens to her, an accident, and by the finale, she is smiling about it, and the show presents it as the beautiful, complete, happy ending of her whole journey. So sit with the full picture of where the dreamer lands. The acting is gone. The job is one she has admitted she dislikes. She is married to the safe, kind, dependable man who adored her more than she ever quite returned. She is carrying a child she was not sure she wanted. The long blonde hair is cut off. There is, somewhere nearby, a glass of wine, and a laugh track is telling you that this, right here, is the one who got it all figured out. Every major outcome of her ending is something that happened to her, not something she reached out and chose. That is the tragic truth about Penny. Not that she failed to become a star. It is that the show decided, somewhere along the way, that she would settle, and then it asked you to clap. And the most haunting part is that the show could not even imagine it any other way. Think about this. Across 12 years and nearly 280 episodes, the writers found room for Sheldon to win a Nobel Prize. They sent Howard to the actual International Space Station. They let Bernadette run a lab. The series could dream that enormous for everyone wearing a white coat, but it could never once bring itself to simply let Penny book the part. Her becoming a genuinely successful actress was apparently the single least believable outcome in a show about a man who knocks 3 times because of childhood trauma, and a genius who cannot drive a car. The one ordinary human reachable dream in the entire ensemble was the only one the writers quietly decided was a fantasy too silly to ever grant. So let us go back to where we started. Back to the girl off the bus from Nebraska, with the engine grease still under her fingernails and the impossible, beautiful plan in her head. Months, and then a movie star. She came to this city to be seen, to be up on a screen in front of millions of strangers who would know her name. And she ended up memorizing the side effects of antidepressants and selling them with a smile she did not feel to doctors who would forget her face by lunch. Penny did not lose her dream in one big dramatic failure. The show took it from her one small scene at a time over 12 years, and every single time it reached in and removed another piece, it patted her on the head and called the theft a step toward growing up. If you have been sitting here in 4A with me through all of this, and it is landing somewhere a little tender, good, so tell me down in the comments. Did Penny grow up and find real happiness, or did this show spend 12 years quietly convincing the only dreamer in the room to give up the dream and then sell you the surrender as a fairy tale? I read every single one of them. And if this one got to you, go watch the one I am putting up next, about Amy and the genuinely heartbreaking lonely life she was living long before she ever found these people. I will see you back in 4A.